Let's review Sem Flowers by Emily Buchanan, the new debut novel about climate activism. Thank you to Verve Books for sending me an early copy. This book comes out tomorrow. Now, on to the review. This book is jam-packed. I think the easiest way to think of it is that there's an A plot and a B plot. The A plot is our main character, Fiona, coming to terms with the loss of Edward, her partner, who died during a peaceful protest that quickly turned physical, and then she receives a potted plant, like a English yew, that she then believes is like the reincarnated spirit of her partner. The B plot is lots of political discussion about climate protesting, and there's a lot of very grounded, very serious, earnest conversation about what is the point of activism? What is the point of protest? Is there a single best way of going about protest, particularly in the UK, in London, at the height of like a lot of natural disasters, you know, being right around the corner. So now more than ever, these conversations are very important to be had. I thought this book did a really great job of standing out and being interesting, because obviously the book market is so oversaturated, and even books about climate activism are very popular. There's a lot of them. So I like that this one found a niche to make it refreshing compared to so many other takes in similar books. Like, a lot of climate activism books are usually non-fiction, so I thought it was an interesting twist for this to be a fictional tale but with real world counterparts. Like, it had a lot to say about the Thames Barrier while still being like a fictitious account of characters and their lives. But there were like real takeaways that you could identify. This is completely personal preference, but I think for me, I would have leaned in more to the alternative lit aspect of this, because the actual plant pot that features on the cover, the Ed's like reincarnated form, I thought it could have featured more prominently. Like, she could have had more conversations. Like, if it had almost been like Ghost, like that film, if his reincarnation as the plant had almost been like Patrick Swayze's Ghost, and they had spent more time working together, trying to like save the world from climate disasters, but he's like communicating to her from beyond the grave as a plant. And there was a bit of that, but I think it could have leaned in. Even like, I don't think it wanted to go in a nefarious direction with the reincarnation, because this was very much like a positive, we can do it humans, let's save the world kind of book. But that would have been interesting too, if there'd been like a symbiosis to it, if like Ed was sort of using his connection with Fiona to get more and more from her, because it didn't seem like they had the best relationship in the first place. So if there had been like a darker twist to it, might have been here for that. I also had not realised just how much of an East Ender Emily Buchanan is. Like, there's so many references to like the East End of like England and London in this book, and I was going through it and I was like, oh wow, she's getting closer and closer to my background. Like, at some point they're talking about the Thames Barrier and they reference Woolwich by name, like the town Woolwich in Greenwich, and I was like, oh, like I was like that Leo DiCaprio meme where he's like, that was me. I was like, oh, Woolwich, I never thought I'd see the day. It's in a book. Wow. I liked it. And when we went up to Scotland, I was sad because I was like, oh, can't we spend more time in like the southeast of England? Because like there was a weird like nostalgia factor to that. I was like, oh, that's like my neck of the woods. Something I think that will split the room with a book like this as well is that it is ultra modern. So our main character, Fiona, she goes by like Foliage Fee. She's like a eco-influencer. So there's a lot of talk about social media, followers, comments, engagement, and I see why, because that is such a big part of activism nowadays. How can it not be? But it'd be easy for you, if that's something you don't like in books, like if you're here for less like modern references, then maybe this isn't for you, because there's a lot of very modern day, very contemporary types of things. Like, there's a lot of talk of social media. I didn't mind it. I mean, how could I not? Like, I do this, but I could definitely see that being a polarizing aspect of it. Something that I will actually praise this book for, though, is that Fiona actually goes on an arc. Like, her character actually has a transformation from beginning to end. There's too many books nowadays where your characters are pretty much in the same place where we left them at the beginning and end. And it's like, well, what was even the point of this book? Like, they didn't go on any kind of journey. There was nothing transcendent about this experience. Here, we see Fiona, like, she's on this bereavement path, but she's also, like, addressing her own relationship with climate activism and how she can best represent what she believes in. And I thought that was quite inspirational, you know, seeing someone who doesn't have all the answers, is not a fully realised character. And even by the end of it, she's not perfect, but at least you can see, like, she's trying to get there. Like, she's trying to figure it all out. And I thought that was very relatable. I thought the relationship with the mother was handled very well. So Fiona keeps referring to her mum as Tracy. And I thought, oh, that's strange. Why is she not calling her mum? And then we quickly realised they don't have a very good rapport. Like, she talks to her mum, but her mum is a very typical, like, conservative Facebook Karen. Like, she has a lot of views that are against climate activism. Like, she's very much a conspiracy theorist, and you see sort of the other side of it. It was very balanced in its way to, like, explore people who don't see the importance of climate activism and seeing why that's a problem and how that gets in the way, which I thought was a very good, like, 360 look at the whole topic. So what I would say is, if you want a book that is very timely, very on the pulse of what matters, or at least what I think should matter in the here and now, this is a very good book. Like, it's a very good example of why reading is political, because it's a fictional tale that is still pushing the envelope of what we need for progress in our everyday lives. And it's also talking about things that are clearly outside of Emily Buchanan's own lived-in experience. Like, she takes a moment to talk about the double standards in like police control and how people of colour are treated so much more harshly during a protest than their white counterparts. And I just thought it was very mature. There was a lot of really great takeaways from this. So yeah, Send Flowers. I enjoyed it. I think it's a good one.